What's going on, everybody? We are here. We are live. We are doing another review of today's and yesterday's European and Copa America coverage. As always, I'm your boy Greg B, and we are doing this once again. I want to say thank you to everybody. I believe this will be episode 4 of the reviews that I've been doing so far. It's been fun. It's been enjoyable, and I've had a few laughs. We decided to do this platform here today on YouTube, and we just want to say thanks again to Locker Room TT as one of our sponsors for this upcoming event. So a lot of interesting games over the last 2 days, a lot of excitement, and a lot of surprises in some regards too. So we're gonna get into that, but like I said, I am not getting into that alone. I have with me today one of my good friends, Mr. Ian Wason, who's here with us today. Ian, I know you're keeping
Yes.
track of what's going on in the game so far. What's taking place in the match as we speak?
Yes, of course. Well, I'm watching here the Colombia Uruguay game is still a goalless game. Even Uruguay just had a couple close chances, but the Colombia's defense still holding out. So I'm waiting to see what will happen in the next half hour. 60 minutes gone, so we have just half hour to go.
All right, cool. That's good to know. So we're keeping track of that. So we will keep you updated as this game goes along too. I just want to say shout out to everybody who's logged in, everybody who's watching via YouTube, liking, subscribing. We appreciate everybody who's following along, and we appreciate you for being a part of this cast as well too. I'm bringing in my next guest in the meantime, my good friend Mr. CJ Peter. CJ, what's going on, sir?
Hey, hey, what? You're here, man.
Yeah, I'm a little faint, but we're hearing you.
Hey, wait, this if everybody.
All right, CJ, you're kind of breaking up a little bit, but I mean, these technical issues are always going to be something that comes up. We can't all avoid that. So it is what it is. We're supposed to be joined by Big Phil shortly as well too. So hopefully he'll be on. He just messaged me and he said should be on in the next 5 minutes. We'll get started, I believe, with yesterday's results. So we will start with the Copa America, and with every Copa America tournament, you can't start this without talking about Brazil. Sorry, Ian. Sorry, I know that's not the thing you really want to be hearing about right now.
But of course. No, well, Argentina didn't play yet. Brazil played yesterday, so I don't mind.
All right, man. I appreciate your patronage.
Too much, though. I find you saying you put a little bit. I never said
yo. we had to have some fun while we're here today. Yeah? This is. I mean, it's supposed to be all in good fun, all in good banter. So we can't help but have a laugh ever so often. And on the back of what took place with the Brazil game against Chile, I mean, it was a very industrious game on the part of Brazil, showing their defensive resilience, and it was a tough, dragged out 1-0 victory that got them through, and they are into the semifinals. The goal from Lucas Paqueta, currently on loan from AC Milan. I believe he's currently at Olympique Lyonnais in France, and he's showing his capabilities very well. And you have to say, Tite's really shown some structure in the way that he set this team up. I mean, it's not all about flair. It's not all about who can do the most tricks, who can do 100 step-overs in a game. It's all about making sure that you get the efficiency and get the result, and that's exactly what's taking place. CJ, I'm going to start with you. Being the Brazil fan, what's your take on the game that took place, that transpired between Brazil, and do you think it's something that you can look at it and say, all right, Brazil's making a case and they could go all the way again?
Honestly, the defensive resiliency kind of surprised me, especially how we were like a man down. Although, albeit from a very stupid decision from Gabriel Jesus, I don't know where he was going.
I was going to get to that, but seeing as you brought it up.
Yeah, I really don't know. People have been asking me, you was I one. I tell them I genuinely don't know the decision making that came with the man looking to jump kick Killer in his right on his shoulder. That's a red any day, anytime. That's a red. But honestly, I think it's one of those instances that TT has shown again that he could set up the team any way he wants, no matter what. He has a
Right.
plan for everything because going into the game, he knew it was going to be drawn out. He knew it was going to be tough. Chile is not a pushover. Lots of people forget that Chile is not a pushover. So
Mm-hmm.
after getting the goal, we looked a bit. Chile started to command the game, but we still kept our resilience. We still kept our identity. We didn't look like we were out of ideas, and it was good. I genuinely feel that he's playing every good player who gets a chance to play. He's always rotating, and I feel like how he's rotating, he's prepared himself for situations, and that if you don't have Gabriel Jesus, you're gonna have somebody like Gabriel who's going to be into the side anyway, or Ribeiro who's been in the side and who's had some instances and cameos. So honestly, it's really nice to see that the Brazil team is not relying on stars. It's a
Mm-hmm.
man work. Everybody's working for something. Even the goal was man worked because Paqueta
Mm-hmm.
really fought going forward and saw the pass and he pushed through a tough Chile defense. So honestly, the team looks good. The team is strong. I'm not going to jump out and say, oh, we're going for the second one, but we could really go and look and do a double. And the team is willing. The team is willing. The team is willing to.
All right. Yeah. So, Ian, let me bring you in on this one. And I mean, I know this is kind of like a rival watch for you in a sense. So, is there anything that comes like stands as a threat for you as regards going forward in this game? Because you have to play. I believe it's Ecuador in a few moments shortly. So I think it's just a matter of getting over that hurdle. But it's another could be another classic matchup between the two biggest rivals in South America. Do you think Argentina have enough to get the edge, or do you think it's gonna be a Brazil another thing? I doubt that's something you want to say out loud. But I mean, do you? I mean, you're honestly leaning to, I'm sure, to Argentina taking it and going all the way this time.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that Argentina are the underdogs this time. Argentina, they have improved over the last few games they have played. Even when they are playing even better now than when they last met Brazil. The last couple of times they met Brazil in the last Copa America,
Hmm.
Brazil won. Yes, we can go back and say the referee didn't favor Argentina, but the result at the end of the day is Brazil won. And then
Right.
after um, they played a friendly some months after Argentina got revenge. Well, when Argentina and Brazil play is not really a friendly. They were actually playing for the South America's champions. They have a, a title between themselves. They play for a
Gotcha.
trophy between themselves.
Yeah.
So
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Argentina
Yes. That's
won.
true.
Right. So Argentina won that game. That was the last time they met. But even now, Argentina has improved. They are playing better. They are playing much better than they were then. A
Uh,
lot. Their defense, to me, is excellent now, and even with the addition of Christian Romero, who has been superb, and the goalkeeper Emi Martinez, that has strengthened Argentina's defense about leaps and bounds. So,
right.
in fact, I think Argentina now is better defensively than offensively. And for me, that is good news. That is what
All right.
one of the things Argentina was lacking. And then in the
Okay.
last couple of games, you saw they include Alejandro Papagomez,
Hmm.
who brought another offensive spark. So he now comes with Gomez. He brings another creative threat. Not just Messi alone. Now they have to deal with Messi and Papa Gomez. So
Hmm.
this has improved Argentina a great deal.
Gotcha.
Brazil, as they are not dependent on the flair, the samba football they have played. Just now, my daughter come here crying. Somebody like
Oh
they
boy.
put too much on.
No.
On the
Oh
road.
gosh. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Take care, of the little
Okay,
child.
just
In the meantime, I'm gonna mute you for a
No,
yeah.
little
So
bit
I
now,
want to
Ian.
finish
So
this. Yes, I will come back. I will come back.
no problem.
no,
No
see, no,
problem. In
see,
the
no, see, no, see.
meantime, I will bring in Mr. Hammond Worrell. He's been waiting for a little while. Hammond,
Hey, come on,
thank you
dog.
for coming in and joining us, big man. What's
Yeah,
going
good
on,
night,
man?
everybody. Good night, good night, good night. CJ,
All right.
Greg,
Hey.
man. Thanks for
Ian
having
just
me.
left off, and we're going to be joined by Big Phil very soon, so he's going to be on for us as well. Hammond, we're talking Copa America first, and I mean, I don't know. I'm guessing you got to see the Brazil match between them and Chile. Was there anything you have like any takeaways from that game, or?
I did see it. Unfortunately, I just saw a few clips of it.
Mm.
I can't agree with Phil's overlying statement with regards to
You mean
Brazil
Ian?
as a whole. But I will let
Oh,
Phil talk about that when
okay.
he
You
comes
mean
on.
you talk about
Yeah.
you talk about Phil when he says Brazil are cheats because he's saying that again in
Yes.
the comments right here. Oh man, Big Phil will not let this rest. He will
Well,
not let this rest. CJ is going. CJ,
listen.
he's gonna have it. He's
I'm
gonna
going to
tear
say,
you a new one.
I'm going to say this for the hundred. I'm this for the hundredth time.
Let
Beat
me
us.
put you in the middle of the
Beat
screen
us,
before you say it.
then.
Let me put you in the middle of the screen before you say it, sir. So I want you to be front and center for this.
Listen,
So say it with your chest. Say it with your
it
chest,
was
big man.
one. It was one infringement. It was one infringement. I took it on the chin and said it wasn't a win. I said that many times here. But you want to come on and say, "Oh, Brazil cheat." Where did we cheat for the rest of games, though? Where did we cheat for the rest of games, though? South American refereeing is dodging every game. I can't say
And I
that's
mean,
not me. That can't
and I
just be
think
on
everybody's
me.
well
Like,
aware.
please.
Everybody's well aware of the fact that that South American refereeing can be sometimes some of the most controversial refereeing that you will ever see in your
Agreed.
life because
It's kind
there's never
it's
going to
corporate
be a
refereeing, man.
straightforward call with whenever
Exactly.
a game in South America, be it a World Cup qualifier, be it Copa Libertadores, be it Argentina
Copa
Clausura, even
Libertadores.
Campeonato Brasileiro, it will never be outright and straightforward with
Bruh,
anything because we always have to
bruh.
deal with these things. We always have to deal with these things.
I've
Why?
told
Hey, yo,
I've told
Big
people
Phil is
many
coming for you
times.
very hard. He's now dropping this one. He's saying Gabriel Jesus is a sheep. I'm like, wow.
Okay, listen. South American refereeing is on cocaine. I've told people this many times. I watch Copa Libertadores. The choices are
If
mad. I don't know
if
if
there
it's
are
street
any, just
football.
before we go any forward, before we go any further forward, if there are any
I,
Colombians listening to this,
yes,
let's
I
not get tied up with the
apologize.
cocaine reference.
Yes,
Yeah, we're not
yes,
trying to
it's
get
a
shot.
joke.
We are not
It's a
trying to get
joke.
shot out here. I'm good. The
It's
views
a
of
joke.
CJ Peters are not the views of
Yeah,
this panel.
that's
Listen tight.
not me. Oh yes, South American refereeing at times could be very inconsistent. That's not on us. For me personally, I just find it funny that in a fair game, they still can't beat me though, even with sheep Jesus. And you know the funny thing? You call in man Gabriel Jesus a sheep, but man, he is the shepherd because he's been guiding every team to a loss though. You can't get vexed. You can't get vexed with him. You can't get vexed with him. I gotta be vexed because I good. I gotta be vexed because Brazil good. That's not me. That's not my fault. Wait,
CJ is
man,
here for the
jeez,
smoke. CJ is definitely here for the smoke.
jeez.
Let's just as we're talking about that whole thing, let's hop on the whole situation. I mean, Ian, what do you think was running through Gabriel Jesus's mind when he did that? I mean, anybody who knows you once
I
your foot leaves the ground, that's usually grounds
but
for booking because it's like I'm
but
watching. It's like it was like watching an episode of WWE Raw or SmackDown. I'm like, dude went
But
full
to
Shawn
be
Michaels.
Weird man,
no, to be honest, I
weird
didn't
man's a
actually get to
whole
see that
drop kick,
because
dog.
I was actually
CJ,
trying
hold
to
on.
get on to.
CJ,
I
let Ian
didn't.
finish,
I
please.
didn't
Let
get
Ian
to see
finish,
that
please.
part of the game. I really didn't get to see that part of the game, to be honest, because I was trying to get on to the Trinidad match yesterday evening with Montserrat. So I didn't get
And
to
we're
see
gonna cover that.
that.
We are
So
going to
yes,
cover that game. It's the least we could do.
but
We have to cover that
I
game.
got. You believe I
Yes,
was vexed, angry with that game?
What?
I was angry.
Why?
I was angry
Oh,
Why?
how?
because I
But how
was
could you
saying,
get
if
angry
I
though?
let me
That's what
tell
I'm
you
trying to
why
figure
I
out.
was angry, right? Let me tell you why I was
What?
angry.
What?
If Fenwick had
What?
This should be
picked those
interesting.
players last month, we would have still been in the World
Oh,
Cup.
okay,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
I was
Ian have a
vexed.
point. Ian have a
Where were
point. He
these
does have a
players all
point.
the
Yeah,
time? And look
yeah.
how
Ian
sweet they
really
played
does have a
last
point.
night.
Yeah.
So I was like, why? What? I
Granted,
was more last night. I was even more vexed with Fenwick. I was more vexed with Fenwick.
Ian
I was
right?
Wilson is about to blow
more.
a gasket on this show. Ian Wilson is gonna blow a gasket on this
Honestly,
show. Yo,
Honestly,
go on, comfort your daughter and come back and try and bring her and come back with a smile, please. Because I don't
honestly,
need you losing
No,
yourself
no.
on this thing, Jet.
I watched that
Seriously.
game
honestly,
last night and
yes.
I vexed. We could have been in the
Sorry.
World Cup qualifier still.
Yeah, I mean, it is. You can look at it as a real missed opportunity there, and it's like it really is
Yeah.
a huge slap on what Terry Fenwick, whatever he
Yeah,
was
them
trying to
both
do,
played
because
sweet
it
football last
clearly
night.
didn't work. It clearly didn't work for us, and now we are no longer able to qualify to go to the World Cup in 2022. We can only hope that we can pick ourselves off the floor. But let's face it, beating Montserrat 6-1 is quite the start. And here's to Angus Eve
It's
and the
quite
rest of
a
the
start.
team, and here's to the Angus Eve and the rest of the team going forward and getting some more positive results, because Lord knows Trinidad and Tobago football needs that level of
Yes.
positivity right now. But
Bad.
as we're going on, we want to talk about positives. I mean, it's only positives for the England fans, but we're gonna
Yeah.
get to them. We are
It's
going to get to them. I want
coming
to say them.
home.
CJ, CJ.
What? I had to sing it.
Let's stick to Copa America, please. Let's stick to Copa America for now.
You
For
said
now. For
you
now.
said England, okay? It said England.
I
I
know,
just
I
hear the
know, I
song.
know, I
Come
know.
on.
And it's like all of a sudden you've adopted England as your European team, but it is what it
No,
is. It
bro,
is what it is.
I've always liked England though. I just
Okay.
my Brazil
All right.
side just makes fun of
All
it.
right, all right, all right, all right. So we're gonna switch gears here for a little bit. We're gonna touch on, I think, the game that played prior to that was Peru and Paraguay,
Ooh, that was a
a
good game.
very highly contested game
That was a
that
good
was
game.
taken down to penalties. My goodness, I mean, how many games are we gonna see with penalties over the next month, over the next few weeks? Because it's
Well,
like every
I
single
feel
game
like
we've seen so far, it's like
I
people
feel
love the
like we
drama.
have I feel like we have one because I genuinely do believe for the Italy and Spain game, for some weird reason, I feel like it might go to penalties, depending on how Spain backline moves.
Boy,
I
I mean,
don't
I
know.
wouldn't be surprised if it does, though. I really wouldn't be surprised if it does, because
Yeah, I
honest to
wouldn't.
God, we don't know what's going to happen, but that's going to be a highly contested game. But
Yeah,
let's keep it within the
it
context
will.
of Peru and Paraguay. I mean, Ian,
Oh,
I know you've been following that
for
very closely. I know you've been following
yeah.
that very closely. So, is there anything that you think stood out for you in that game? Because I know Peru's resilience was one thing that kind of really stood out for me. Because you're
Yeah.
thinking they would have died down as soon as Paraguay got those goals, and then, like in other games we've seen, they've come back and they've shown that level of, we're not going away quietly.
And we
nope.
were discussing that
They don't.
last time. We did say, because remember last game I couldn't pull out a winner. I couldn't choose. I could not have chosen a winner the last time we spoke,
Yeah,
and
you did say that.
it really went down to the wire. Now, what I was disappointed with were the penalties. Like some of the worst penalties I've seen at international level. Some of the worst. Like, wash by this people are shit. Like, there's no practice penalty kicking at all.
It's
I
it's
like
just, it's a
really
it's a
poor.
worrying thing, because in your mind it's like, what's going on here? Why are these guys moving like that?
Yeah,
It doesn't really add well to them as a group
yeah,
of players. As like, and it's like you're saying to yourself, these guys haven't played. What are you guys training for? What are you guys really doing?
you
Yeah,
understand? And well,
and
yeah, well, I'm like, come on, man. These people don't want to win. They're kicking to lose.
It's like, let's just kick and get it over with. We don't know how this is
Exactly.
gonna go.
that's how it
But
really did carry that energy though.
Yeah, CJ. You could expand on it if you want to on that. What was your takeaway from that game?
Honestly, there's a reason. I always say there's a reason Peru made the finals last tournament. Peru is a team that doesn't want to give up, and if it has a momentum, they're not going to stop. The Peruvian team has been that fighter team for years and years. It's just that they don't get the chance to develop the football for some reason. But I'm not surprised that they went that far with Paraguay, because honestly, that Peru team has been a pest for years, and times show that they will go. So I'm not really angry about it. All right, hold on,
All
guys. I'm
right.
coming. Yeah.
All right, no problem, no problem. So I'm just gonna mute you for a little bit. All right, but the Copa America is showing that it's gonna be very interesting going forward, and you can clearly tell that this is going to get more and more interesting as the competition goes by. So I think the takeaways from that. I mean, that's going to be the semifinal. We got Brazil versus Peru coming up for that next semi, and then now we have to see what's going on between. I think it's Uruguay and Colombia is playing right now. Is it still goalless, Ian?
Still goalless. Still
Right,
goalless.
right.
Costa Rica just had a close chance, but still goalless. 78 minutes gone, still goalless. So we're looking like penalties here.
Oh boy. And then the big one for you, of course, and the big one for a lot of people who are backing La Alba Celeste, the quarterfinal against Ecuador. I mean, let's preview that for a second. I mean, would you see that as a cakewalk for Argentina, or do you think they're going to have to be about their wits with Ecuador, because Ecuador's not going to be one of those teams that I think is just going to want to sit down and just let Argentina come at them.
Well, it's all, to me. It has to do with the combination of players that Scaloni picks. Well, I am seeing a rumored 11 Argentina had put out.
Right.
Well, a rumor that one of the websites had put out, not necessarily from Scaloni, and according to that, I hope it is a rumor because it's starting Papa Gomez on the bench. So let me see if I can pull it up here with the rumored 11 Argentina going with. I don't know why they would bring back Nico Gonzalez though. It's rumored that Nico Gonzalez, Lautaro Martinez, and Messi would start in front. But I would replace Nico with Papa Gomez any day, any day, any day, because Nico Gonzalez had his chances, haven't scored any. Papa Gomez played 2 games and scored in each of the games. So, and he brings a more attacking, another creative element into the game. So I would play Papa Gomez in front of Nico Gomez any day. And once this tournament is over, and I would bring back players like Dybala, and it have a lot of the other players options they could play up in front to keep Nico Gonzalez. I don't know why Nico Gonzalez made the team in front of Dybala and them anyway, but that's a whole different conversation. So in the middle now they have Lo Celso, Paredes, De Paul, and in the back Acuna, Otamendi, Pazella, or Romero. I think there's a problem with Romero's fitness, but we're not too sure. And Molina, and then Martinez in the goal. So if that is the combination, all right. But I hope to see Papa Gomez feature sometime in the game in the second half.
Okay.
But I think Argentina is supposed to beat Ecuador. Argentina is supposed to beat Ecuador because in the last few games they have played excellent football. They have improved in each passing game. They have improved. So I expect Argentina to beat Ecuador. It wouldn't be easy, but Argentina should win.
If you have a score line to give us, what would be your ideal score line and realistically for a game like this?
I would say 1-0. I would say 1-0. Because I will go with how Argentina has been playing. The defense very strong, but yes, they score the 4 goals, but it's against Bolivia. Bolivia is not one of the stronger teams, and so of course they would score 4. But when you look at the teams that are more Ecuador strength, like Uruguay and Paraguay, those games ended 1-0. So I expect another 1-0 game.
All right, Hammond. What's your take on that game? Uruguay versus Ecuador. What's the scoreline for you? What do you think? You agree? I mean, Argentina versus Ecuador. My fault. What do you see as a scoreline there, or a realistic scoreline in your regard?
1-0 Argentina.
Okay, CJ. Okay, I think he's frozen a little bit there.
CJ muted, huh?
Yeah, he is.
Hold on. Yeah. Honestly, 1-0 Argentina. Ecuador not beating Argentina.
All right, so it looks like it's unanimous across the board. So Ian will hopefully be seeing Argentina in the semifinals once everything goes according to plan. And
Yes.
we're looking forward to hopefully it being the big clash that we expect it to be. Because I mean, a lot of people are just saying it's going to be another Argentina Brazil final, and right now I know right now Ian's chomping at the bits to get some semblance of revenge, because I mean this will be Argentina's first major trophy since what? I think 1993 it was. I think it is the last time you guys won.
1993, boy, the last World Cup.
Damn.
The last
serious?
Yeah. Yes,
It's
because
like,
Yeah,
that was the
93 was
around that
1993.
time we were seeing the emergence of Gabriel Batistuta and other players coming into the mix. Diego Maradona was still
Batistuta,
playing. Mhm.
Diego. No, but he wasn't on that team. Maradona,
Yeah,
because
well,
during that time, Maradona had retired. And
yeah.
when Colombia had beaten Argentina 5-0 in the World Cup qualifier, they brought back Maradona. Maradona came out of retirement and took
Hmm.
them to the World Cup. So around that time, Maradona wasn't playing. But
All right, well.
they had good players. In fact, I think Diego Simeone was one of the main midfielders. That
Hmm.
Batistuta coming up. So yeah, that was a good team Argentina had. But what hurt me, the final that hurt me the most was the 2007 final, Copa
Mm.
final, where Brazil just walked over. I think it was 4-0 or 3-0.
Something around that
That
lines,
one
yeah.
I couldn't get over. That one
what
because
what a
during that
game.
qualifiers,
What a game.
Messi was
CJ,
coming up,
CJ,
Crespo
CJ,
was still in
CJ.
the
I
team.
know what you're doing. Leave it alone. Leave it
You
alone.
know,
I know
no,
what you're trying to
seriously,
do.
no, that one hurt
Ah,
me.
that was
I
a
remember
game, but that was a game, though.
I went to my
Not for
partner because I had no
Argentina.
cable at the time.
Not for
I had
Argentina.
no
No.
cable at the time, huh? I went with my partner, we were living in Laventille Road in San Juan. I went and watched a game by him. Here now, man, and he's a Brazilian, eh? I'm like, oh gosh, boy, he laughing, eh?
Mm.
He
Yeah,
laughing, boy, and I was
he just
crying.
come with a he
I,
just had a bag of salt waiting for you and just lash it with it.
exactly what you mean. It's a final. I don't mind a 1-0 or 2-1, but a 4-0, I said, nah. And then
Yeah,
what hurt me
you
too,
you
it
would
was,
think
I
a
think,
final. You would think a final would be at least the most competitive
yeah,
fixture in that game, in that tournament, because you know it's like that's
exactly.
supposed to be
And
the two
what hurt
best
me
teams
too,
there, and then when you see one side just completely
exactly.
getting blown out the park, it hurts to be on the
And what
losing end
hurt
of
me
that,
too,
especially as
and
a
what hurt me
supporter.
too,
Mm,
boy, and what hurt me too, 2 years before that, Brazil and
mm.
Argentina had met in the Confederations Cup final. And it was the
Oh
same thing. Everything was Adriano
yes,
scored.
oh
Like, and I was
yes.
like, oh gosh, for every time so we playing Brazil, we get lost in the final, but
I
I was like,
I
no, I couldn't
I
take it no more.
genuinely
So
believe
if
that
we
it's
meet
not a
again this year,
rivalry
we have to.
anymore for a while.
We have
Bro,
to win. We
bro,
have to
no,
win.
Wow,
no, don't,
wow,
CJ,
wow,
don't
wow,
dare
wow,
say
And I
that.
can't
wow,
take it
CJ,
again.
don't you dare say
wow.
that. Don't you dare say
I
that,
can't
man.
take it again if we lost
That's,
again.
that's true. But it's true. But it's
So
true.
CJ,
We
as an
all thinking
objective,
it. We
Yeah,
all
yeah, hold on.
thinking
Let
it.
Haman
Like,
talk. Let Haman talk. Let Haman
yes,
talk,
sir.
please. Let Haman
So
talk.
so
Let Haman
so
talk.
CJ, as far as you concerned, right? This is from somebody objectively looking on. There exists no rivalry between Brazil and
yes.
Argentina because they've been outclassed for years.
Oh
I
damn.
mean,
That's what you're saying.
Oh damn.
I mean, it's always a big event to play Argentina and Brazil. It is a rivalry, though. But like, it kind of hella one
Okay,
thing.
okay.
Like, bruh,
Now you see,
I've
CJ.
I've seen it.
Now you just jump. Now you just on the fence. Now you just jumping fences here. One minute you say that's not a rivalry. Next minute you say it's always an event to play Argentina. Pick a
Okay,
side, man.
I'm going to be honest.
Guys, give me one moment.
Like,
All right, Haman. All right, all right.
and 9 times out of 10, we got this. It's like 9 times out of 10, we're gonna win it. But okay, it happened. Whatever happened.
Oh man, wow! It just goes to show, you know. I think a lot of Argentine fans want to win this to put some respect back on the team's name. Let's see what's going on here. And CJ, fill this on for you, dog. I don't know why he keeps going there. He say CJ frozen like Elsa. I'm like, dog. Oh man,
Lol,
and now and he's
lol.
also
I'm
and he
crying.
also is saying and he's also saying this. Ian, you're not gonna like this comment. You're not gonna like this comment, Ian. He's saying that France versus
Ooh,
Brazil's rivalry
that is
may
disrespectful.
be bigger. Dan, I don't
Damn,
like Big Phil
that's terrible.
conduct. I don't
No,
Yeah,
like
let
Big
me
like
tell
Phil
Phil
you,
all the
conduct.
time, man.
no. Let me tell you when I would have agreed with that.
Wait,
You
wait.
see, when Zidane was playing with France and Ronaldo was playing with Brazil, at that time, maybe. When Brazil were
Hmm.
world champions with Zidane, yes, but not now.
Hmm.
Um, Brazil, no. And especially how France get knocked out there in the
I,
second round. No. Let me forget that. Argentina,
I gotta
Brazil,
be, I gotta be honest.
Argentina, Brazil is the biggest super classico in international football. I don't care what nobody else say. All right.
All
That is
right.
the biggest super classic international football. I don't care what
I mean,
anybody else say.
and we cannot take away anything from that rivalry because we're talking about decades, probably over a century more of these teams coming together and really
Of
going
course,
at each
people
other
still
tooth and
debate.
nail.
Yeah, and people still debate Maradona or Pele. Pele or Maradona. It's a big debate between Argentina and Brazil. Come on,
Of
yeah.
course,
You
and
ever
then
hear
and then
anybody debate Pele or Cantona or Pele and Zidane? You ever hear anybody debate that? No,
or
it's always
Platini,
Argentina.
nah.
Yeah, we don't ever debate them saying Pele, Maradona,
Yeah,
Argentina, Brazil, isn't it?
that's always gonna be the
Exactly. So I
biggest
don't know
debate.
talking about France. I don't know what talking about France. Platini never came in the conversation.
Yeah,
Platini,
because
Zidane, and Cantona, and them.
Oof.
I love Zidane. I have respect for Zidane, but they never in the conversation.
jeez, man, wow.
Maradona, Pele, Argentina, Brazil, lies with them. Nothing else. Don't talk. I don't know
And I
who
mean,
people talking about France.
as
France and
someone as
Brazil are
someone
big.
as someone who likes France, I mean, I'm still inclined to agree because at the end of the day, it's like you talking about. Yes, they had some great players. You have the Papins and the Clairefontaines and all these other guys who came in and they've done great things. But as regards as impact on world football, anybody from like 5 years old and up will know the first names they think about when they talk about football and world football and South
It's
American
Brazil
football
and
is
Argentina.
Brazil and Argentina, and usually Pele and Diego Maradona are the
Yep.
first names that come to mind when it comes to things like
Always.
that. So that debate for me isn't really a debate anymore when you think about it. So I'm leaning to that side where I'm inclined to agree with you on that, Ian. So yeah, it's one of those games, and we're looking at the Copa America, and we're gonna see. Hopefully, it's gonna be something that should be
Hopefully.
interesting. Yeah. So Stephen Brown just chimed in. He left a comment here. He's saying that looking like we might have a penalty shootout with Uruguay. I think he meant Paraguay, but he said Panama. But
Oh,
I think so. Yeah. So it should be a shootout. Look the
yeah.
way things are going because it's a very highly contested affair right now. Both teams are kind of playing very, very, very cautious to that extent. Steve, thanks for that comment. Now we're gonna look to switch gears and we're going to cover yesterday's games in the European Championships. Um, I'm gonna say this. Big Phil should be coming in for
Listen,
this one, so when he's ready, we're gonna start with, of course, the Czech Republic. Oh no, that was today's game. I think it was. I think it was Czech Republic and Denmark was today.
yeah.
Yeah. Right. So sorry, I gotta let me go back. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah. Spain and Switzerland. It was Spain and
Yeah,
Switzerland
Spain. It was
yesterday.
Spain and Switzerland. Yes, that's the game I wanted to talk about. That's the game I want to talk about. Spain and
And
Switzerland.
Italy
Very,
and
very
Belgium.
yes, and Italy and Belgium. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And we are going to bring in Big Phil for this one. He's renamed himself. He's going under the name of Harry Fridge Maguire. Big Phil being wild today, man. Phil, what's going on, big man? You're just giving us a thumbs up. Okay, so you give, and he's showing off his.
Harry
Big Phil is
Fridge
a character.
Maguire, yes.
Big Phil
The
is a
what?
character. Big Phil is a character. Big Phil is a character.
Oh,
you gotta love him, man. You gotta love Big Phil.
let's do this.
All
Let's
right.
do this.
Can't vex
All
the
right, so
big two.
guys, we're gonna get started. We're gonna talk about Spain and Switzerland. Another game that as we were talking about penalty shootouts, that game was dragged out. It was one of those games where it's like you weren't sure how this was going to go. Um, Switzerland unfortunately didn't do themselves any favors with the sending off that they had, but they managed to still put in a performance and take Spain to the wire. But unfortunately, they fell at the wayside when it came to the penalty shootouts. Mind you, this is them off at the back of beating France via said penalty shootouts. Big Phil, I'm going to start with you on this one. Where do you think it went wrong for Switzerland?
Well, obviously the sending off, right? But throughout the entire 90 minutes, Switzerland were looking a bit stable at some moments. I know that two players that stood out for Switzerland, even though he scored the own goal, Dennis Zakaria was still pretty good. But Akanji in the centre back position for Switzerland, he was really, really good as well too, right? But one guy that was absolutely not only for Switzerland, one guy that was absolutely brilliant for Switzerland, not only during Spain, but the absolute tournament, was Jan Sommer, right? So
Yes, yes, yes.
he
Give
he,
Jan
he
Summers
kind
flowers.
he kind of got let down by his guys not converting their penalties. And at the end of the day, like, when it comes to penalties, it's a 50-50, right? But Switzerland can hold their head. Switzerland can hold their heads high. It was always going to be difficult to come back and probably win 2-1 with a man less, right? So
Of course.
kudos to Switzerland for taking Spain to penalties, and they can hold their head high.
Okay, Hammond, glad to have you back. What your take on the Switzerland Spain
Yeah.
match? What stood out for you with that game?
All right. Despite Switzerland's best efforts, their adoring fans, adoring female fans.
Like, yeah, the eye on one in the crowd. Or
Wow.
what?
Yeah, if I must admit, I
Wow.
love the European
Wow, eh?
countries.
Wow,
What?
Edan?
Wow.
Wow,
So
Edan.
sorry, what I got distracted.
Hey, we off the
The,
penalties, huh?
Oh man! Oh
all
man!
right.
Oh man!
Sorry.
That's a penalty in itself. That's
Correct is right. It was hard just to see the Switzerland penalties. Honestly, um, I always felt that Spain would have won. I thought they would have won it earlier. Uh, Switzerland, sorry to say, has it kind of clear that they haven't practiced. Um, at least some of the members of the team haven't practiced penalty taking in a little while. Uh, it definitely showed. And at that point in time, yes, there was really no match in the penalties.
But I
The
mean,
game
you
itself,
don't think it would have? But just sorry to cut you off. But just don't you think it would have been strange? I mean, just given that they actually beat France the same way, you would figure that it's something that they should understand how this is going to work. How come it doesn't work out for them this time?
I think it was. I'm sorry to say, I think it might have been a dose of luck the last time against France. I'm not 100% sure, but I think on the game against France, the keeper might have jumped his line a little early when he stopped Mbappe's penalty.
Yeah, there was talk of that.
So much so that he kind of looked at the referee a little while like he wasn't sure, okay, will this penalty save be allowed? And when there's no protest, it's like, hey, no, I celebrate. But that's just me. That's just me. I really,
mean, yeah.
it kind of looked like that to me. I could be wrong, So I mean, sorry to see France go, but I really think in that regard, Switzerland were lucky because the experience in
That
terms
kind
of the
of,
penalty,
for me,
inexperience in terms of penalties, showed.
Yeah.
But I
CJ,
really
you wanted to add something there? CJ, you wanted to add something to that just now? You wanted to say something?
it come like, okay, I think my viewpoint is that remember, they say the people who go into penalties twice, they're most likely to lose the second one. I think,
Right.
like,
Statistically, yeah.
I think it comes like, yeah, it comes like, for example, right? If you win a
Somebody's-
penalty, it's like,
hmm
yeah, it's like yeah, everyone is like, but they knew what to do, they knew how to go. But the thing about it
Right.
is, sometimes you tend to overthink your penalty because you were here in the first year, but at the same time, there's the pressure of, oh well, penalties. You're expected to go forward. You're expected to know where to go, how to take it.
Right.
And
Right.
the two penalty misses, it was a lot of overthinking or where they weren't sure to go. Because
I think
in the France
the
game,
last
which we
miss,
being
that
real,
was definitely nerves. I will give him. I think that was nerves. Clear. Yeah. Roberto Baggio
That
mean,
special, that was nerves.
yeah, you could
Hey.
tell his face that he was really scared. But two, I also believe that penalties don't really show us the winner in a sense because in a way, if we be very honest, Spain really don't deserve to go to the semi-finals. I'm going to be the first one to say it. They didn't really play any football for me to say it was commanding or they went out there and went after Switzerland. Switzerland just didn't take the opportunities. So they kind of banked on it. And that's really football, that's really it. Because if you look at it, this Switzerland team, if it took the opportunities, Spain would be home. They would be home because they were atrocious penalty-wise. And Morata didn't even shoot yet. Like I tell somebody, I really thought Morata was going to be the one to miss.
And
didn't even get that
far.
coming back to that in that game, my predictions was incorrect because I actually said in the last discussion that Morata would score. So
Phil has been the prediction police. Phil is officially the prediction police because he's keeping tabs on everybody. He's keeping tabs on everybody, not just me. I thought of me. He keeping tabs on Harmon. He keeping tabs on Obat anytime he say anything. It's one of those days. And watch, I don't know why he keeps banking on my predictions to go and take them and make money off of them. Dude, I've never said that I'm guaranteed for you to bank on these things. Ian, what's the updates on the game between Uruguay and Paraguay? What's going on with that game? Okay, Ian, you're muted. Let me fix that. Hang on.
Ian, you're muted.
You're muted, Ian.
Right,
Speak
sorry.
up.
Penalties.
Right, yeah, sorry about that. The penalty kicks are now going to start. Colombia will be kicking first. I heard you mention the game yesterday. Now, if there's anybody I was feeling sorry for in that game was Sommer, the Switzerland goalkeeper. I think he really tried. Even in the last, he made some telling saves. Even in the penalty shootout, I had enjoyed that penalty shootout. There were some good kicks and some good saves. I think one of Sommer's saves where he pointed that direction and dived the other direction, and the kicker took the bait. It was really nice to see some of those penalties, and it was really nice to see some of the. It's the first time I saw. Usually, we'll see the kicker doing some good creative things. To see the goalkeeper, Sommer did some creative things. It was good. Right, so Colombia scored their first penalty. So they are 1-0 up in the penalty shootout.
Oh,
so
wow.
That penalty shootout was enjoyable. But I was sorry for Sommer, especially. Sommer was the one I was feeling sorry for. But CJ mentioned something. The penalty shootout doesn't really give you it doesn't really tell you who deserved to win. And I could go back to the back-to-back Copas that Chile won. I could always say Argentina was supposed to have won those two. But I think that is why FIFA stops the game at the end of extra time. So that game yesterday would have counted as a draw, just like the Argentina-Chile games, just like the Italy-France game in the 2006 final. The game doesn't count as Italy won. The game finishes as a draw. Right, so Cavani scores his first penalty as well, so it's 1-1 after one kick. So the game ends
right, so this is going to be tense.
Yeah, this game this is going to be real good.
All right, so Ian, keep us posted on that one. Any updates? Let me know, so I'll make sure and unmute you. So just like send out a private message in the chat so that we'll know what's going on.
Yes.
In the meantime, we'll go on next game that took place yesterday in the Euros. Belgium and Italy. Italy with another disciplined performance, coming out 2-1. It was, I think, goals from Nico Barella and I believe Lorenzo Insigne were the 2 goal scorers. Anybody is free to correct me if I was wrong. And a penalty kick from Romelu Lukaku to give Belgium some semblance of hope. But throughout that game, you could see Italy weren't really faced per se to really say that we're losing shape and that Belgium could catch them out as much, because I think one thing that they did smartly was not necessarily target one player. They just if it's one thing Italy's known for is they're good at reading passing lanes and being very strong in their defensive areas. Chiellini and Bonucci showing their class yet again, and it was hard to watch. I mean, there was the one chance for Belgium that Lukaku pretty much miscontrolled, And I think in itself, Spinazzola was also lucky to make sure and get some contact with it to make sure that it stayed out. But it was a hotly contested game, and you could see that Belgium weren't just content with sitting back and trying to do anything. They knew they needed goals. They kept on the forward front line, and Italy was just there to make sure they countered. Um, Hammond, what's your takeaway from that game? Any stand up moments for you in that match that you'd like to mention?
Yeah, Lukaku was unfortunate to score that goal the second time around, where it just uh, whatever his name was,
Spinazzola, yeah.
blocked it, successfully blocked it with his thigh, which was smart because he couldn't actually throw a leg behind it. So he blocked it with the body part that was closest to the ball. Beyond that, De Bruyne had I think, even though he didn't have excellent finishing, De Bruyne had a more or less good game. Um, as far as the Italian strikers go, they, for the most part, had a lot of opportunities. I think the game could have easily gone 4-1 or even 5-1 based on some of the opportunities that they had. In terms of the Italian defense, from the mids to the stoppers, they were quite solid. So it's unfortunate that Belgium didn't get the win, but Italy was all over them.
All right, right, right. Just before we go any further, Ian's just informed me in the chat that Uruguay had a penalty saved. Colombia just saved one, so Colombia is basically going to push
Right.
one.
So
Yeah, go ahead, Ian. Give us a
right.
further
So
update on that.
right. So after that save, Minia had given Colombia 3-1 lead. Suarez is going to kick now, the third kick, and he scores. So after three
All right.
kicks, Colombia is leading 3-2.
All right, so yeah, this could be if everything goes according to plan, then Colombia should be the next team into the semis, and we will look forward to that. So let's get back to the game yesterday. I mean, I want to just focus on Jeremy Doku's performance as well too. One of the young starting players for Belgium. He really showed that he didn't have any fear as regards Italy's defense, but it just kind of felt like nobody else was able to really keep that energy as regards going forward with them. But I mean, they showed their ability to push, and I think potentially Germany Doku could be a one for the future that Belgium could build upon. Anybody else share that sentiment? Anybody has anything, or anybody saw anybody else that stood out for them in that game between Belgium and Italy yesterday?
Doku was very solid on the
Honestly,
on the wings. Is unfortunately didn't have some of the support coming alongside him so that so that he could have strung together passes that could have led to opportunities to strike on goal. As you said, as a 19-year-old player coming in, showing that kind of gusto, that no fear for the Italian opposition. Belgium can look well as one of the oldest teams in the competition. Could definitely keep him within the squad to build it up for the World Cup and next Euros or any league competition thereafter, any country competition thereafter.
Very well. CJ,
Colombia is out.
anything you want? Oh wow, Colombia's gone. Wow.
Sorry. Uruguay is out. Sorry.
Uruguay is out. So yeah, just keeping that up to date. Colombia have won the penalty shootout.
Yes.
So another penalty save. Another Matthias Vina had his penalty saved by the Colombian goalkeeper. So
that is the end of Uruguay.
Is out.
Cavani's coming home.
So Colombia advanced to the semifinals.
But the thing is that so far the three semifinalists are from Brazil's group.
Wow.
Yeah,
Argentina.
That's saying a lot.
Hopefully, Argentina should be the only semifinalists in their group. I hope that Ecuador don't make it 4 straight in Brazil's group.
Well, that
Something
remains
strange
to
thing
be
happened.
seen. That remains to be seen. Though, let's just keep our fingers crossed and let's not say let's not have Ian coming back here and saying that it's our fault that Argentina don't advance. Should they happen to lose to Ecuador, let's hope that's not the case.
Honestly,
Yes. CJ, you were gonna
honestly,
say something. Uh,
honestly,
yeah.
Spinazzola for me has been a really good tournament. It's a shame that he got that injury because I would have seen him if he survived. If he didn't get an injury, I would have seen him being called up to a big team because he's been fit for the whole tournament. He's been consistent whole tournament. Locatelli, I like Locatelli. I hope Locatelli
Mhm.
gets a deal where he gets to be where he wants to be. And aside from that, everybody's been good.
All
Um,
right. Well, I mean, I know
yeah,
Locatelli's also been on the radar of Juventus as well too, and there's also been talk of
yeah.
him maybe looking well, there's talk of apparently interest from Arsenal as well too. Sorry, yeah, yeah. So yeah, just
He gave away.
boy, I've
He
been
went
choked. I've been
Arsenal.
choked. I don't know. I had that in my throat for some time now.
He quick go West. He quick go West Ham. What are you talking about? He quick go West Ham. What are you talking about?
Wow. Yeah. So I mean, everybody's been fairly good for Italy, and I mean, you can see that Italy showing that level of discipline that's required for them, and it's not just like one particular individual performance that's really getting them through. Everybody seems to be playing on song, and there's a synchronization in the way that they're going forward as regards to playing together. It's just of course, they could be a bit more clinical up front. There are a couple of chances that the likes of Immobile and even at times, well, I know Bellotti doesn't get much chances, but Immobile is more or less their supposed goal outlet. But Insigne has been very prolific as well too, and the standout for me in the team has been, of course, Federico Chiesa, who's proven that he can be an impact player when need be,
Yeah.
and I believe
Um.
Mancini has been using him very smartly in the way that he puts them into the team.
Question.
Yes.
Yeah. Question. Is he related to the next Chiesa? Is that his son?
Yes, Enrico Chiesa was his father. Yes, he used to play for
Yeah.
Bologna, Juventus as well too. So yeah, it's a bloodline. It's a very rich
Yeah.
family. They have a very huge
Damn.
history in
Damn.
Serie A football. I think they're one of the senior families as well too, just like the Maldinis. So yeah, he's a part of a very good football lineage, and Juventus are
Wow.
doing well to they'll have him in that limelight and manage him well. So let's just hope he grows into this and becomes a
Mm-hmm.
a, a key player for Italy and for whoever clubs he decides to play. Should he be still at Juventus, maybe for them in the years to come. But it was a very good and very disciplined performance. You could really tell that Belgium were kind of out of their depth to some extent because they didn't seem to find their footing after those two goals. I mean, they were fortunate to get the penalty, and Lukaku, of course, dispatching it once again, carrying up his tally as the record goal scorer for Belgium. But unfortunately, the golden generation bows out for Belgium in this tournament, and we're yet to see them. Maybe, hopefully, they will be able to qualify for the Qatar World Cup, and they show their dominance. Well,
Well,
show their ability. I shouldn't say dominance again. Yes, Guardian.
I was saying that who won the game yesterday between
Hmm.
Belgium and Italy should go on to win the Euros, but after England's performance, it will be a good Italy England final, but I wouldn't jump to that yet.
Hold that thought, Ian.
But
Hold
I
that
was
thought. Hold that thought. I want. I
I
want.
will
I
hold
want to
that
get
thought.
into
I will
that.
hold that thought.
I want to get into that, but I want
Right.
to. I want to leave that for the
Yeah.
main event because I know that
I
was
will,
the last game that we
I would
touched
leave
on.
that. I would leave
All
that
right.
alone.
Thank you.
I would leave
Thank
that
you very
alone.
much.
But
Thank you very much. I appreciate
I
that.
was really happy with Italy. I was really happy with Italy. I know for sure by the next world ranking, Belgium will
Well,
drop to about 2, 3. They will drop.
maybe
They will,
fourth. Yeah, maybe
they
fourth.
will drop. Or maybe
Yes.
fourth. Brazil will move up. I can't remember where Brazil is now,
I
but
think
they
I
will
think
move
they're
up.
in
I
fourth right
expect.
now. I think they're fourth right
Right.
now. I
So
believe.
if Brazil
Yeah, we're fourth.
wins,
We're
they
fourth
could
actually.
they could be number one. If Brazil
Yeah.
wins, they can be number one.
Hmm.
If Argentina wins, because they are too low down, they might jump to about fifth or sixth. But I was glad to see how Italy continue their rich form.
Hmm.
Um, I think that would have made it 5 from 5.
Right.
5 wins from 5 matches. They're really the form team right now. They are really the
Yes, they
form
are.
team right now, and they could have, and they, I don't think they would have conceded yesterday had it for been that mistake where Baku was fouled. Um,
Hmm.
they should have kept a clean sheet yesterday. I was amazed to see how Donnarumma continues to keep well, and I was even more amazed that I forgot he was only 22 years of age.
Mhm.
He's a young
Yes, I
goalkeeper,
mean
so he
Yeah.
and
Gianluigi
if he
Donnarumma has been in the limelight for some time now. I think since he's been about
because
17 that he's been out there.
right,
So yeah,
and
you
he
can you
was
can
of
really tell that
course
he's being groomed for greatness.
right, and he took over from Buffon, so I could see he being Italy's number one keeper for the next 16 to 18 years. He could be the number one goalkeeper for them for the next six, and he could go on to break records. I think the records that Buffon set, most appearances and things like that, he could go on to break those records because I don't think Buffon started. Buffon was 22 when he was already Italy's number one goalkeeper. So I was amazed to see how he has continued to do well between the sticks. Italy shown that hey, Italy could take this, and um, Belgium. I thought Belgium played well, but Italy was indeed better on the day. I thought that the game would have gone into to extra time, but um, yeah, Italy did well enough, and
Yeah.
they could have they could have really dominated the scoreline, but 2-1 is a fair result because I don't want to count out Belgium. Hope Belgium would bounce back and have a good World Cup. But
Yeah, let's hope for that and see what takes place.
uh,
Big Phil
um,
disagrees, but
Maguire
you
said
know
no,
everybody's
but
entitled to their
he
opinion.
disagrees. But it's a team I
It
like
happens. It
the
happens.
golden generation.
Why,
I like
why,
them. I have
why,
a
why,
soft spot
why,
for them.
why people think that Belgium would have gone far in this Euros? But what did Belgium do in their last international tournament?
Well, I guess because on paper
I
they're
mean, they made it to the
number
semifinals.
one team in the world. People expected a lot.
Nah,
Yeah.
I mean, let's be
Yeah,
real,
I
right?
expected a lot because of that.
Belgium's team at the World Cup were younger and hungrier than this team at the Euros. I honestly thought Belgium would have probably gone to the quarterfinals, which they did, and got knocked out. Whoever was at the quarterfinals that Belgium was facing would have knocked them out. It could have been us on this podcast. We would have knocked out Belgium in the quarterfinals.
Wow,
Yeah,
wow, Phil, that's a stretch.
Wow.
um,
quarterfinals, man. Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. I mean, but at the end of the day, you can't knock the talent that Belgium has in their team. But I guess they're just not as
Did
seasoned internationally going forward to be able to say that they could claim silverware. But who knows? A lot could change within the span of a few months, and we could see a different dimension or development going forward in their team. So there's a lot to see that happens. We're going on to the next game, the first game of today's doubleheader. Denmark and the Czech Republic. Denmark again showing that they are the Cinderella story, kind of the feel good
indeed.
story of the Euros. And I did say this in my on my Facebook post where I did say that Denmark winning the Euros, if should it happen, they would be the feel good story of the year for a lot of us because at the end of the day, football and life in itself needs that feel good story to really kind of help raise everybody's spirits and not show that sense of belief. If you have that ability and believe in yourself that you can accomplish anything, and I believe that they're inspiring to do Christian Eriksen proud. So they're pushing themselves and they've gotten themselves to the last four and. For them, they want a party. They want a party like it's 1992. So we'll see what happens. It was an interesting game to watch, and I mean, Czech Republic didn't go away quietly, but I believe the goals that they put in on Casper Dolberg as well, finishing as well too. Um, I didn't get to see the full game, but anybody here have any takeaways from that match?
Well,
Honestly,
just one
it
thing
was a
that
really good game.
I had
Okay,
predicted
hold
that
on,
the
hold on.
Cinderella
So,
story would. Oh, sorry, CJ.
no,
Yeah,
how when you started, so you
No,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Okay. No, well, I had again one of
Yeah,
my
go ahead.
predictions did not come to fruition. I predicted that the Cinderella story would end with a 2-1 loss.
Damn.
Uh,
Well, at
in
least
the
he
Czech
got the
Republic.
scoreline
Oh,
right.
well,
He
yeah,
just
well,
didn't get it. He just
And then-
didn't. He just got it in reverse.
You are the
correct,
new Greg
correct,
B.
correct is right. Correct is right.
You are the new Greg B.
Hey, stop it! Stop it! Stop it! I will remove you from this stream. You go ahead. You keep playing.
Oh gosh, but the Danes definitely have that. Um, I will not go gently into the night type of feel, and I think it's beyond um, Christian Eriksen. Wish him well. I hope
Yes,
that
indeed.
he could play again. I think they really have this. I don't care who it is. I will not stop. I will run. I will run. I will run as hard and as fast as I can. And that is how
Yeah.
they play today.
I think they're basically probably playing climb every mountain in the dressing room before they start every game because it's like they're looking to scale, but the question is,
Wow.
will they meet their Mount Everest? And unfortunately, not forgo what happens here because I know that they go up against a England team that today we have complained about England's performances and said that it's too lethargic, it's too dry and drawn out, and it's not something entertaining to watch. And today, Gareth Southgate decided, you know what, do you want to be entertained? He was like Russell
Okay.
Crowe in Gladiator after that game. He was like, "Are you not entertained?" That's what
Yep.
happened there. A 4-0 drubbing of the Ukraine today was, I think, just knowing that they put in that scoreline, the icing on the cake for me was watching Harry Maguire score a header. And it was like you saw the vindication of a lot of people who said that he wasn't good enough, that he wasn't worth the 80 million that Manchester United paid for him.
That he
But
shouldn't have played today. All those comments.
yes, or that he shouldn't have gone to the tournament. A lot of people are saying that too. And it was vindication on his part for him to score a goal. This is the second time that he scored in a major tournament for England. I believe the last time was in the quarterfinals of the World Cup. So he's got big goals in his locker, and of course a brace from Harry Kane. His third goal is for him to get to 3 goals in this tournament. And in my mind, I'm like, the fight was gone out of Ukraine when Jordan Henderson scored his first goal. So in my mind, I'm like, yeah, that's it. Yeah. I was like, oh gosh, England, they're dead already. Yeah, you bring out Henderson to rub it in, but come on, man. And two performances that stood out for me today. We cannot go out and talk about this game without talking about the performance of Jadon Sancho. He came on and he
Oh yeah.
ran at defenders. He showed his class,
He
and
started.
he
He
showed.
started. He started. He didn't come on.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. My apologies. He basically came. Well, he came into the game, started from the start, and showed why he was so highly rated in the Bundesliga and why Manchester United paid the money that they paid for him. Those moments that he put in for that game and the moves that he
Mm-hmm.
made, the link up play that he put in, is a beautiful sight to see, and showed how well he really can and how much of a dynamic he
Also,
really adds to this team. And also, I cannot go any further without praising Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw's performance, the 2 assists that he got as well
Shobuto
too.
Carlos.
Yes, Shawbutu
Shawbutu
Carlos.
Carlos.
They, 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 they,
Shawbutu
they,
Carlos, bro. So,
yes.
hey,
Or
hey,
for Ian's sake,
hey.
do you prefer Luke Pablo Sorina? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to find an Argentine reference there for you. I mean, come
Hey,
on,
hey,
man.
hey,
Work with
hey,
me
hey,
here, man. Work with
hey,
me.
hey. You're wilding now, eh? You're pushing it.
Yeah,
You're pushing it.
chill,
You
Yes,
are
Greg B.
pushing it.
Chill,
CJ, I know that's cap.
Well,
I know it's
leave me
cap, but
alone. Leave
I
me
have to
chill,
say
alone.
Greg B.
something.
Chill,
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 bro.
chill.
What are
Get
you
get some
what are
ice
you doing?
and chill.
What is he doing?
Exactly.
All right,
Anyway,
but
I want to
also,
say
Gentlemen,
it.
yes.
I want to
Gentlemen.
say it.
Big
A lot
Phil,
of
Big
people
Phil, hold
don't
on, guys, one at a time, one at a time. Big Phil, you go first. What's your takeaways from that game? I know you have a lot to say on
yeah.
this.
forget. I don't want to say forget the game, right? But this is England's defense. This is England's defense. No goals conceded. See? No goals conceded. This is England's defense. This is why I have on this shirt, okay? Luke Shaw Walker is
Okay,
right here. And a guy like Harry Whirlpool Fridge Maguire is right here. Put some respect on England's defense, man. Thank you very much and good night. No goals
Good boy.
conceded
So,
for
so,
this
so, 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 so
tournament.
you're saying Kyle Walker? So you're saying he flashes Kyle Walker and the Green Lantern as John Stones then?
Yes, 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 yes,
Wait,
yes, yes,
but
yes. Put
Harry
some
Maguire's
respect
Harry
on
Maguire's Batman.
England's defense. I
Harry
rest my
Maguire's
case.
Superman. He said Luke Shaw's Batman. He said Luke Shaw's Batman. How he say?
Yeah, Luke Shaw is Batman. Luke Shaw is Batman. Nahin,
Oh man.
also
Oh man. Yes, CJ, good.
it's for a while I've said this. I don't really give him the ratings because he gets me mad. But we can't overlook Raheem Sterling work in the tournament. Like we, as you don't, you would hate to say it. Raheem Sterling has been hitting numbers in the tournament. He's our highest goal scorer. And
Well,
let's
he's
be
tied
very
with Harry Kane now
honest.
for highest goal
Harry
scorer.
Kane-
Can you know the rest?
Big Phil is having
Come
fun
now,
tonight.
it's like
I need
when we
I need
go
a
to
drink,
Harry-
guys. I need a drink.
I think with Harry Kane is that he now starting to perform, and I get that, but we can't overlook that Raheem Sterling has been carrying the side when Harry Kane couldn't carry the side. Like, yes, is he greedy on the ball? Yes, greedy on the ball, but he's showing up and he's showing up. I think the funniest thing for me is that to show you how Jordan Henderson was really not doing much. When the header came in, I thought Harry Kane scored the hat trick. I was like, oh yeah, Jordan Henderson playing this game. I didn't even know that. My bad. No, like,
I mean,
no, that's a
it's
real
like
thing.
people forget that Jordan Henderson had a part to play, but in my mind, I'm like, dude, it's like he's not even that relevant to me anymore. And I said this, I said the only Henderson we stand is Dean. So
Yep.
we don't
Yes,
claim mans, but
sir.
whatever.
But
Oh,
honestly, I feel like we could, if the defense stays as strong as it is, we could go to the final. And so I feel like England really is gelling together as a team. Everybody has each other's back. It's just if Southgate picks a proper attacking, it could go well. It could go well. It could go well.
I think that's the thing that we just good. Good.
Yeah. I saw Rashford come on today, and it wasn't really hard on Rashford. He's kind of holding an injury, so he's not going to be the Rashford you think. But honestly, he had hustle, he was quick, and he looked out the game, and that wasn't bad. But honestly, I can't wait to see those guys link up. I can't wait to see Luke Shaw and Jadon Sancho link up. I am very happy about that. I want my defender though. I want Varane though, because I don't want to see Lindelof in the back. But yes, I'm very happy with the side we go down now.
All right. Well, that's good to see. Wait, who's playing that's coming home in the background there? Phil, is that you? No, it's Hammond. It's Hammond.
Definitely not me. Yep, I'm
I'm
on
I was like, geez, boy.
CJ, are you being mischievous right now?
It's not me. It's
gotta
not
be
me.
CJ.
And it can't be Hammond because his side went home long
that's-
time. So it
that's
can't
right.
be Hammond.
Well, it ain't me either. I would know, and I doubt it's Ian because Ian is studying. That's right. Ian studying Argentina right now. Oh man,
Yeah.
I know. I heard it's coming home somewhere. I'll make out the culprit. You go ahead. You'll play on it. Play that again.
Honestly,
Man, this place,
today
boy.
could have been a perfect
But
day.
yes,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Today is a perfect day.
Yeah, go ahead, CJ. Go
Although
ahead.
it could have been perfect if restaurants were open. It could have been perfect if restaurants were opened up, but you can't get what you want all the time.
Yo.
You can't get
Restaurants are open.
Not for us.
Ha ha ha. Yeah, how you feel
Chill.
that joke?
Phil,
feel-
that's strike two, big man.
Restaurant-
That is strike two, big man. No. That's strike two. You relax yourself. You relax yourself. Oh gosh, hey, what
All
can
we
you
ha-
do, man? And I
all
just
we
made
have-
groceries,
all
so
we
I
have
have
to
to
support
kind of
us
work with what we
now-
can. It's massive
What we
fried
have
chicken. I
now
get
is
it.
the best chicken in which is Massey's. Yes, yes, always.
Denmark are going home.
Wow. Wow.
Denmark are
Okay.
going home.
Wow,
So we're calling our predictions early. We're calling our predictions early. Since we wanna let's make this official. All right. So you're gonna start with that game, Denmark versus England. So Big Phil's already saying that Denmark is going home. Um, Hammond, what's your take on that? Who do you think? Who you have for that, Sammy?
Harry Maguire hat trick.
Um,
Okay, now you just fighting wild. Now you just real fighting wild, Phil. Stop
Stop
it.
it,
Hammond, good.
Stop it. Stop.
I already gone to the final and seeing Italy, England. So sorry for Denmark.
Wow. So
Damn.
England. So yeah. So the Cinderella story hence for you again.
Yeah, this time I'm sorry to say, I think when it meet England, that's it.
Damn.
When they meet England, sorry, that's it.
So for Denmark, the clock strikes 12 in for Big Phil and Hammond. CJ.
2-1 England over Denmark. 2-1. It's gonna be a fight. It's gonna be a fight.
It's basically majority rules over here. Ian, what's your take on that game for that prediction for Denmark versus England? Who you have?
They're going home.
It's going to be England. I can't see it being any other way, but it's going to be England.
Wow.
It's going to be England.
Wow. No love for the Danes at all, man.
I love the
but
day-
I mean, I'm unfortunately.
What happened
as much as the other person.
What happened in 1992 wouldn't happen again. Although if it does, come on. I mean, Kasper Schmeichel's father was a keeper in 1992. I don't think
Yes.
Brighton going to
Yes.
strike twice. Brighton not going to
Hey,
strike
well, you know,
twice.
I mean,
I swear,
When
if
you come
that
from a-
happened,
when you
that
come from a
need to be
lineage-
Disney movie.
when you come from that lineage of such a legendary goalkeeper who's in your family, I mean, you kind of have a reputation to uphold
Sure.
there. But I mean, it's one of those situations where we don't see it, but like I said,
But listen,
if it happens,
if it happens,
It's not going to
Hypothetical.
happen.
If it
is
happens.
not going
if it
to
happens,
happen.
gentlemen, we are
It is
entitled to our
not going
opinions.
to
If it
happen.
happens,
No.
if it happens, I will give Denmark their flowers, and I will buy a Denmark jersey just to commemorate the occasion.
Honestly,
this is
We're all seeing.
God
No.
forbid.
This is the end of the road for Denmark
forbid
like
it.
boys to men. End of the road. End of the road like boys to men. Don't get Denmark flowers. Get
But-
Denmark a wreath.
God forbid. God
And the
forbid
funny thing is,
if
that song
Denmark
came
go
out the year
through.
Denmark won the Euros.
Damn. If Denmark go through, God forbid, check on Trevor, please. Check on Trevor. He'll be okay.
Shout
You
out
all know that
to
boy
Trevor
not
Sheldon
gonna be
Rodriguez
okay.
Jr. My boy's on a high after today's win, and I am sure he's just enjoying himself right now. I mean, I can't
think he
blame
might
him.
have been
I
too
can't
intoxicated
blame
to
him.
join us tonight.
I know, right? I messaged him and I told him, I said, "Yo, where are you, man?" I said, "I need your parental on this live. You need to be here to represent and show your colors." But we'll see what happens. I mean, I have real people saying if England when they're done with football, all kind of stuff. People are wild. People are wild. People are wild.
I wouldn't go that far.
Okay, so we. I wouldn't either because at the end of the day, life goes on. I mean, a lot of people didn't want Spain to win the World Cup. I didn't want Spain to win the World Cup in 2010. I'm here, so it is what it is.
Anyone who say they're finished with football
but
because they will win, they're a sheep.
I thought CJ would have
That's
stopped
bad.
watching Brazil football after they get 7, but
I guess 7.
look, he's still here.
Well, I mean, I'm sure,
Never.
Hammond. I am sure, Hammond. When the Koreans knocked all out in 2018, you probably was like wanted to go in a hole and hide for a couple
Well,
of.
I was on the social,
I
so
did-
you know.
Yes, you
I
see.
I'm saying, my side
Uh,
never lost a team whose best player plays for Tottenham Hotspurs. I just
Damn.
think I lost
Sir.
a team. I lost.
CJ Peters. You are
tell
choosing
me.
violence. You are choosing violence.
You need to tell
You are
me.
choosing violence.
You need to tell me.
Oh
You need
man.
to tell me, right? You need to tell me. Song Human, 2 finals choking Song Human. Run all your pockets. Could never be me. That could never be me. Never. Never will be me. Ever. 5 World Cups, man. 5. Never.
Five World Cup, five peak.
Anyway.
I'm dying over here. Wow. Okay,
Could never
let's
be
keep
me,
let's
man.
go.
I
Let's
will, I
keep it
will,
going.
I will accept that with and hush my mouth.
I'm sorry.
He didn't just slice the artery.
But-
He went for a jugular vein, dog.
Straight to the jugular.
I'm sorry, but a girl I liked hit me that talk, and I told her that she blocked me for 2 days, and I took my block normal.
Correct.
Damn.
Correct. That was the right thing to say.
No,
I agree with you.
That's when men down bad out there, dog. But anyway, moving on to the next semi-final that we have lined up. Of course, that's the tasty affair between the Italians and the Spanish. And we know there's
Spain
no
are
bad
gone.
blood, there's no love lost between those two teams. Yes, Big Phil, you were saying?
This one's gonna be tricky because I mean Italy just suffered a major injury blow in Spinazzola. And I think Spain may take advantage of that. But one can say that Italy lost Chiellini before yesterday's match and they still did well. So I honestly think the Italians are, because both teams are disciplined, I think that the Italians are just a bit more clinical, right? So I'm going to give it to the Italians, maybe 1 or 2 love, right? As I said in the podcast before, this one, if the Italians score on you, good luck trying to wait. Well, I can't say good luck trying to score on the Italians because Switzerland did score on them, right? Not Switzerland, so
Belgium as well too.
Belgium. Sorry. But Belgium scored on the Italians when the Italians were 2-0 up, right?
Yeah.
So
did
I think
Austria. So
true, but when Belgium scored on the Italians, I think the Italians they weren't completely going to shut up shop, but they know that they're disciplined enough to have maybe 5 people to defend, not only just Chiellini and Bonucci, right? So I am also going to give it maybe 1 or 2 love to the Italians versus Spain, and then it'll be Spain versus the 3 kitty cats. Let's go. Let's go. No, sorry, Italy. Sorry, Italy. Italy.
You see, you sounded like me the last time when I made my predictions, and I had to be corrected when we were talking about the Spain and Croatia match.
That's okay.
I remember that.
You can correct me, but that final is going to be Forza Azzurri versus the 3 kitty cats. Let's go.
Okay, Ian, what's your take on that? Spain versus Italy.
Yeah, it's going to be Italy hands down. I'm
Saying
not
that with
going
his
to
chest,
go
too.
against
Saying it
Italy.
with his chest.
Yeah, Italy is going to
See it?
take this. In fact, it would be nice if Italy can go through the tournament, play it 7, win 7. And I could see, and I could actually see that.
No.
Bro.
I can actually see that. Play 7, win 7.
Bro.
Italy are the
You're
form
just
team right now. Italy
you're just
form team right
being
now.
like
And they
Harry
could
Kane
finish
is going to dominate Chiellini. Watch and
win
see.
7.
Dan,
What?
come on.
No. Italy is the team. And I was impressed with Insignia's goal yesterday.
Yes. Yeah, that was quite a good goal.
That
That was quite a
was
good goal.
a
I ain't
brilliant
gonna
goal.
even go front on that one.
I was like, whoa. I was like, wait. Insignia, boy,
Lorenzo-
yeah. So
Lorenzo
this
Insigne is a
Italian
problem.
team, yeah, he is definitely a problem. So this Italian
Harry-
team, yeah, I could see.
Harry
No,
Maguire
no,
is
no,
going to
no,
give
no, no.
Bonucci a defending
Look,
lesson.
The
Watch
thing
and see.
about it,
Yeah.
the thing about it, the semi-finals and the finals are played in Wembley. Yeah? They will
Correct.
be played
Yes.
in Wembley.
So there's
Wembley.
So England already
And
have
that
the
is
home
something
advantage.
I can't ignore that. I have to consider that. It's playing in Wembley. So the Italy England final, Italy England final wouldn't just be simple a walk in the park for Italy. Eh?
Mm,
England invincible in Wembley. So I have to consider that.
mm.
Yes.
I have to consider that.
All right,
Wembley
CJ.
because they're playing in Wembley.
CJ, give us your take.
Yeah, for me, of course, Italy gonna take it 2-1. But if Italy, I would want Italy to. If Italy lose, that mean England have a better chance of taking it because Spain ain't good. But Italy will take it 2-1. Yeah,
Oh man,
it's true.
Hammond.
Well, I always prefer lasagna over Spanish rice, so I give it to the Italians.
Yay! Oh,
Dad.
In
Bas.
addition, I think the game is going to be an incredibly physical one.
Yes, I agree with that. I wholeheartedly agree with that
I
because it's one of
expect to
those
see
games where,
quite a few yellows, hopefully no reds.
well, you never know. I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully nobody loses they're cool in a game like that. But Italy is very defensively disciplined, so don't be surprised. Once they get their 2 goals, they shut up shop again, and they just kind of they keep their heads, but at the same time they don't allow Spain to kind of have the mindset that they can get fully back into the game. And going forward, Spain's threat is lacking severely for me. I mean, I think their best outlet and at times would be Danny Olmo because we've all seen how calamitous Moreno and Morata have been going forward. They've had Moreno's been woeful at times. Morata has a goal or two in him, but you never know what to expect. He can control, but he's not a guaranteed outlet for goals for me, especially going forward. So I'm inclined to agree with you guys. I believe Italy has the more dominant edge in this one, and we could really be seeing it. And I mean, as much as I would love to see Denmark go all the way, I'm thinking realistically England will have that because England seem to be a bit more potent going forward, and we can clearly tell that
Yeah,
they look like they want it more. But football is a funny game,
but yeah,
as we've all seen.
yeah,
So
fast.
there's always a shock or two on the horizon somewhere. But seeing as everybody already kind of has
Yeah,
their team set for the finals in mind, so it's looking like everybody's saying it's going to be Italy versus England.
Correct.
Scorelines should that final take place. Scoreline
England
should that be the
5,
final?
Denmark 0.
it's
Whoa, no.
Wait.
Phil. What I said was,
Did I get Phil?
is that
before we talk about that, I still have to acknowledge Hammond Jay-Z line where you see you rather lasagna over Spanish rice. For me, dog, Hammond moved mad lyrical. Hammond, tell me your ghost right for Jay-Z for that Blueprint album. Because I swear to God, that's something else. I didn't even think about that. Like, Hammond just out here.
man come with some bars there, boy. He come with some dread bars. Out of game, that's out of
Yeah,
game,
but
Nah.
like he just
You can tell a hip hop. You can tell a hip hop purist in the house here. You can tell a hip hop purist in the house.
Yeah,
You can tell.
Yeah.
But Phil, what I was saying was, okay,
different.
seeing as everybody has their teams for the finals, they're saying it's gonna be everybody's saying it's gonna be an Italy versus England final. For that final, should that be the case, what's your scoreline for that game?
Harry Maguire and Sancho.
So 2-0 England.
Harry Maguire and Sancho. And then Chiellini over
Wow.
goal.
Wow, that is way specific,
Bro.
Way specific. Way
Giorgio
specific.
Chiellini with an own goal. That's out there.
Sir,
That is
if
very
this
much out
ever,
there.
no, if this happened, I ask him Big Phil for lot of numbers, eh?
No,
I'm
not before me, CJ. Not before me.
No,
Okay, make
no,
sure you ask me, but don't ask Greg B.
I don't gamble
That's
anyway, so
specific.
it don't make sense asking me for nothing. Right? It don't make sense asking me for nothing. I don't gamble anyway.
I
So yeah,
sorry.
Ian, I
sorry.
need you to counteract this because I know you ain't too you ain't too liking that statement Big Phil just make there. Okay, Phil, you're muted. Now here we are. Ian, you're muted.
Based on what I'm saying, whoever win that will win 4-3 on penalties.
Who good?
4-3 on penalties.
A shootout for the finals. That was what you're
Yes.
predicting.
No.
Yes. I'm not seeing because all right, even if Italy wins, because you see it's in Wembley, and even if England wins,
Yes.
they are not going to walk over Italy. And if Italy should get
Mm,
past England, they are not going to walk over England. If that game was played elsewhere, let's say that game was played in Germany or that game was played in Spain or wherever, I would say Italy would win. But because of that Wembley factor,
right.
England is not going to let Italy just walk over them. And likewise, Italy,
You're kind of just looking at the atmosphere, kind of favoring, giving England a bit more of
yeah.
an edge.
But and even if they helps England with that edge, the how Italy has been playing for the past couple of years, I don't think it will be enough to beat Italy in 90 minutes or 120 minutes. So
Okay.
it's
Danny
going down to
Sancho.
Okay.
penalties. It's going down to penalties.
Harry
Okay. Hammond,
Maguire is
what?
going to bully Chiellini. Watch and see.
I would
Phil
love
just
to
being
see
wild out here. Phil, what are you drinking? What are you drinking, Phil? What are you drinking? What is in that cup, sir?
It's called confidence.
You've had a few drinks of that. I can clearly tell. Hammond, what's your take on that?
If it comes to penalties, I don't think England is going to win.
Ooh.
Italy would need to
So you
win
have
within the 90 minutes. And as such, for Italy to win, I see
so
2-1. If it goes to penalties,
ah
sorry. Um, should it go to penalties, which I believe it would, Italy will have the advantage over England.
No.
wow wow
And
wow. This is gonna be this is gonna.
this is not just the German fan talking here, right? But I will give them the slight edge.
Oh man. CJ, I don't think I got your prediction for that one. If it comes down to Italy
Same
playing
as
England in the
Ian.
final, which
Same as Ian. I feel England will break their penalty curse again and go 4-3 on penalties with a slighting. Rashford taking the last penalty and winning it.
oh you looking for you looking for another next night in Paris again?
Yes, I am.
CJ, you played it. CJ.
I'm not playing. It's not me.
Then it had to
I
be Big
just
Phil.
said it too.
It has to be Big Phil.
Why it has to be
has
me?
to be Big Phil. Because you're moving awfully quiet, sir.
Because I'm listening to CJ.
No, both.
So wait. So is the ghost of Queen Victoria that played it's coming home then?
Now I say it. Who else can be playing that by? Phil, stop it.
If you
Just
haven't,
hold it, man.
if you're
Hold it,
having,
man.
if you're having spirits like that, I suggest you see somebody about that. Nah, I'm not doing that.
The only spirits I deal with is Black Label and them. Right? That's the only spirits I deal with right now.
Same here.
Oh God. Hey, but I mean, for me, it's going to be a tough one down the line. Like I said, that's going to be the ultimate marquee matchup as regards to this final because it's like you got the two teams that are really showing their strengths and they've gone so far and really haven't lost a game in this tournament. So it's really a lot to go on, but at the same time, it's like you're not sure who to pick. In past experiences, I would have normally leaned to Italy winning because of the quality players that they've had before. But England are moving very, very, very different. And you can see this is one of their most talented teams.
Harry Maguire.
So,
Harry Maguire. Who is getting past Harry Maguire, Greg B? Tell me anyone in this tournament who has gotten past Harry Maguire. Thomas Muller tried it, and when he got past Harry Maguire, it was a goal kick. Tell me who has gotten past Harry Maguire.
I'm looking at that and saying to myself that Thomas Muller and Timo Werner switch boots on that play. That's all I'm thinking in that situation.
Who is getting past Luke Shaw Walker, aka Luke Shawberto Carlos? Tell me. Tell me.
It looks hard.
And I must say to
England
England's
coming
credit,
home.
Harry Kane has started to feel himself within the tournament. And I
and
think
that's
that is
just it.
really going to grow.
He's looked rejuvenated. So I
Yeah.
mean, when you look at it from that perspective, it's going to be a very disciplined match for me because it'll come down to probably once depends on how Southgate sets up one and two, how cautious either side plays and who probably makes the first mistake.
Correct.
If they go to
Harry Beyonce Kane.
Mhm.
I'm feeling myself. Correct.
Oh my goodness! But it's gonna be an interesting tournament to see how this plays out. And like I said, we could be in for a couple of shocks here and there because nothing is written in stone when it comes to football. It's all about who wins on the day and who shows up and performs. So we could be talking this right now, and then people could say, I got a shout out to my good friend James Baird. He's part of the West Indies Football Association as well too, for our former Scottish goalkeeper as well. So he's kind of feeling how Scotland no longer in the tournament, but he's okay with it. But he says that he doesn't like they love not being shown for Denmark as regards their chances of advancing to the finals. But he's understanding where people's coming from. But we'll see what happens from here on in. Guys, it's been an interesting tournament so far. I'm looking to wrap it up here. Any closing remarks, Ian? I'll start with you because I know you're very much watching that game with a close eye, and I don't want to take away your attention from it too long. So, closing thoughts. I'll start with you on it. You're muted, Ian.
As,
Ian,
as
you're
I
muted.
started to, right, as I started talking, my daughter is next to me and she telling me, shh, I can't understand. So, well, of course, England should beat Denmark. I can't see Denmark beating England, and of course, Italy will beat Spain. I'm not even seeing extra time in that game. Italy should beat Spain in 90 minutes comfortably. Um, but and in South America, of course, I think they should just skip the only best of games and go straight to the final because it will be an Argentina Brazil final, and it will be nice. As somebody gave me an idea today, my neighbor, what they should do is seeing that the Copa and the European finished playing around the same time. Usually they would pick the best team, the Copa team,
Nah.
the All Star team. They should pick a Copa team and pick a Europe team and let that be a real match. Let that be a match because
England,
So basically, the Euros best 11 and the Copa America best 11 should go.
because every World Cup, every big tournament, they pick a best 11, and that's it. They just pick the 11, but they never really play the 11. Will never play. So
I mean, they did have an instance where they had the winners of the World Cup, where they played a team made up of the rest of the world. So like the best 11 players around the world played
Right.
against the World Cup winners. I think they did that
Right.
with Brazil years ago for the '94 World Cup winning side. So yeah, that's an interesting idea.
yeah,
I
he
wouldn't
told
mind
me
seeing
that
something like that.
Yeah, that would be a nice idea. The best players from Europe playing the best players from South America.
South
That would
America,
be a
yeah.
nice game. That would
That'd
have
be
been a nice
interesting.
game.
That'd
Yeah,
be
that would
interesting.
be
Okay, CJ, what's any closing thoughts for you on this one?
Honestly, it's been a good tournament. It's actually one of the best tournaments I've seen in a while. I like that these teams are not diving down for teams because it's a bigger team. Like everybody's showing up, everybody wants to go for it. So if this is Euros, I would like to see how World Cup is going to be. Genuinely, I would really want to see how World Cup going. So yeah, that's it.
It usually is a precursor for those kind of events to see how these teams line up and who has the momentum going forward in tournaments like this. Hammond.
To add what CJ said, it has been an excellent tournament so far. There's been no walkover side. Everybody has come and shown up and played the best. With the games coming up, Italy is going to, and Spain, England, and Denmark. I actually see the Italy and England final, and as I say in Wimbledon, I will close by saying it may be coming home, but
Correct.
it's like
Correct.
And last but certainly not least, Big Phil, aka Harry Fridge Maguire. He's giving us the Daniel Bryan. Yes, chant.
Correct. Yeah, the guy knows what Daniel Bryant. Yes, correct. What? So I mean, Euro started what 3 weeks ago,
Yes.
and we have not been disappointed, right?
Very
I
much.
think I
Very
think
much.
we thought we then saw the quality of certain teams when the group stages were over, right? And it's football, so upsets are meant to have to happen. I mean, look at the entire group of death. They're actually literally no
Dead.
pun intended, but they're gone home, right?
Yeah.
Um, Before this tournament, I will honestly say nobody thought that Denmark, Spain, or England would make it this far. Let's be real. People were saying Portugal, people were saying Russia, people were saying don't write off Belgium because they have such quality
Turkey.
team. Turkey.
People say Turkey was a dark horse team.
Yeah,
People say
you
Turkey
know,
was a dark horse
more
team.
like
people were
a
saying
dead horse.
exactly. People were saying that Turkey were the team to watch out for, right? And within the first match versus Italy, I know they went from dark horse to dead horse, right? Um, at the end of the day, who would have thought that England? You must give credit to Southgate where credit is due, right? Who would have thought that England would have gone to the semifinals one without conceding a goal, right? But I have faith in Harry Fridge Maguire, right? He will take it home and he will bring it home for England, right? Watch and
Okay.
see. Those
All right, guys. So
Italians
bonus.
don't
So
know
bonus
what it's
question.
doing.
Bonus question as we're touching on that. What, as you mentioned, Big Phil, Gareth Southgate, has been showing his tactical nous to an extent where he's putting out certain teams and he's getting the desired results. And like you said, he's yet to concede a goal in this competition. How would you rate him as a manager as regards in this situation, given what's transpired over this competition up to this point?
Gareth Southgate was a bit naive in the group stages, but I can then see from the Germany match onward that he definitely has learned. And and like I said, credit where credit is due, right? There are some, so like a lot of people in today's match, they were like, why all of a sudden England is going with a back four instead of a back five at how they went versus Germany. You got to realize that a back five versus Germany is what helped Hungary to score 2 goals past Germany and only concede 2 versus Germany as well too, right? So Southgate was
Very
probably
true.
looking at that and saying, you know what? That definitely is something I can deploy with better players in this English team, right? He went with a back four versus I totally forgot who England played today. Ukraine. He went with a
Yeah.
back. He went with a back four versus Ukraine because he knows that Ukraine aren't a possession team, right? England will be dominating possession versus Ukraine, right? That's not me, okay? That is not me.
CJ.
My hands have been here. My hands have been here
CJ.
all the time.
CJ.
CJ.
My hands have been here
It
all
was,
the
it
time.
was me this time. It was me this
It
time.
was me all the time, CJ. One CJ from Grand Theft Auto. It has been him all the time.
No, it wasn't me all the time. It was me this
It was me
one.
all the
I had
time,
to do it.
CJ.
I had
CJ
to.
from Grand Theft Auto. That's CJ, man.
You know something, CJ? Big Phil, I'm holding both of you accountable for that, all right? I'm
No,
holding
I
both
got
of y'all
my hands here all
accountable.
the time. But anyway,
You,
Yeah,
I
anyway,
was
finish your point. Finish your point. Big Phil.
yeah. So I mean, Gareth Southgate realized over the tournament that Ukraine aren't really a possession-based team, right? So why not risk four at the back, right? A lot of people are asking today as well, because let's be real, the first half of the England and Ukraine game, after that 1 goal, it was boring. Okay, bye, Ian. It was boring, right?
All
It was
right,
very
All right, Ian.
boring.
Take care, man. Take care. Thanks
Yeah.
for joining us.
Yeah. But Greg, in that second half is when England really turned out, right? Because a lot of people at halftime were saying, is Gareth Southgate going to bring on Jack Grealish, right? And they have their right to ask that, right? Because Jack Grealish
Of
in the
course.
last 2 games versus Germany and versus Croatia,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, Croatia, right? Jack
Think back.
Grealish came
Yeah, it was
on.
Croatia. It was Croatia.
Yeah, Jack Grealish came on and changed and changed those games, right? So people did have a right to ask, if Jack Grealish is coming on, right? But a lot of people were asking why was Jadon Sancho starting. At the end of the day, I'm going to be real with them. Jadon Sancho is a baller. He's more of a baller than Jack Grealish. Okay, let's get that real, right? Jack Grealish only came about maybe last season and a little bit season before, right? Jadon Sancho has been performing in the Champions League and in the Bundesliga versus Bayern Munich for the last 3 to 4 seasons. Okay, now coming on to the last two games with Gareth Southgate, right? A lot of people don't want Gareth Southgate because he's kind of technically inept, as proven before, right? But you got to give Gareth Southgate his flowers for this tournament, right? Not only have
Very true.
England been scoring goals, I don't want to say freely, but England looked comfortable in defense. And in my
It's
opinion,
only today they really kind of showed up in the goal scoring department.
yeah. But I'll finish off on this, Greg. Attack wins games, but defense wins titles. Okay.
Exactly. That
Yep.
is true. That is very
Always.
true. That is very
Always
true.
will. And it always will.
And I wanted to also just kind of look at it from the perspective of, he's really kind of learning from past experiences. And I think, they run in the World Cup kind of showed, okay, you know what, maybe he might be onto something. There's still a couple of things that he will need to improve on, but he's also been able to pick a team that really kind of shows that they don't just are there for positions. They play roles in that, they don't just have one specific job that they can do. There are a lot of players that can do multiple things within that team and can shift their focus as regards to how they play in their positions. So there's a flexibility around England now that you didn't always see in past teams. So it kind of lends to the idea of, what, the dynamic is different, the way that they go forward is different. They may be able to do something. And we kind of have to give Gareth Southgate the credit because the way he's set up has been smart, but at the same time he's kind of not allowed them to kind of throw all their cards on the table for everybody to see what they have to offer. So we don't know if this is them gradually going into different gears.
I am not playing it.
Y'all having
Big
fun
Phil.
tonight. Y'all having fun tonight.
On it.
I feel this one was Hammond this time, but whatever.
Nope.
Big
Never.
I would be surprised if it's happened because I'm a German fan,
We're
right?
not gonna do it now.
I would be so surprised if it's happened and he's a German fan. I would be
That's the
so
thing that
surprised.
makes it very surprising because it's not
Yeah.
something you would expect from him.
Exactly.
But you know what? He says it's not him. We'll have to leave it as innocent until proven guilty. So whatever.
I mean,
But guys, I mean, this has been a fun discussion. I mean, I just want to also say shout out to the Trinidad and Tobago national team because last night they opened their prelims for the Gold Cup qualifiers. Angus Eve started off with such gusto as managing Trinidad and Tobago for this game, beating Montserrat by 6 goals to 1. A lot of new faces coming into the team, getting their first goals from Neville Hackshaw, Judah Garcia, a penalty from Kevin Molino, one of the familiar faces on the team in the last few years, and I think I'm not sure if Dwayne Muckett scored as well too, and I think it was Rion Moore as another player that played. So it was a good start to Trinidad and Tobago's campaign for the Gold Cup. Let's just hope it's going on to bigger and better things. But there's a lot of football to go still. There's a lot of stuff to go on that we could be looking forward to, and let's just hope for very much more excitement as the current games, the current competitions, the Euros and the Copa America are going into their final stages. Thanks to everybody who's tuned in. Thanks to the likes of Steve.
Barbados lost 8-1. Holy shaving cream. 8-1. Holy, not 1, not 2, not 7, but
Damn.
8-1. My gosh, boy.
Steven is saying that he ready. If I shouted out TNT. Steven is asking me, okay, wow. Okay, on the stream kind of glitched on us a second. Steven is saying, you really shouting out TNT after one good game? Wow. I mean, hey, if a team does that, if a team scores 6-1 on with a new manager, I mean, yeah, that kind of give them some credit a little bit, man. I mean, this is what Trinidadians always
This
have
is
to suffer, because we love to put down when the team's performing bad, but when they actually
yeah,
doing good, we don't like to give anybody any kind of credit. 6-1 is not a
but
scoreline you see
oh,
every day, especially associated with Trinidad and Tobago
exactly.
football. I can't remember the last time I see Trinidad score 6 goals on that team on
Yeah,
and in an important game at that too. So it's like
exactly.
love it now, man.
Yeah.
Love it.
Allow
Yeah,
it. We
and
get
he say
P8. Come on,
Um.
come on.
he forget them. He forget that Trinidad still playing football. You see, hey, men, men
Someone
from
on,
hell out here,
but
boy.
Ah,
I think someone on Twitter or Facebook said with Barbados losing, somebody say there was brawling, crawling, and I ran outside crying.
Oh my God, no!
I ran outside crying. I couldn't breathe. I was like, why are people mean? Why do people do this? Why are people mean, boy? Why this internet is disrespectful? Why?
Hey,
Mm-mm,
hey,
mm-mm,
yo, yo,
mm-mm. That
that
was
was
the
too much.
worst. That was the worst.
Yo,
I am
CJ,
I am the
you're reduced
worst.
with the tears of the You're reduced with the
No,
tears of the Wow, I
no, I
can't function.
really
Oh my God.
no. If we have any Bayesian listeners, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. You didn't
don't be
deserve that
sorry.
one.
Don't be sorry. No, 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 no. Don't be sorry.
Well,
The
remember
only
Big Phil's Beijing did us.
exactly.
Yeah,
Look,
honestly,
let
when I saw the tweet,
my flag
Damn,
there.
boy.
Let my flag there.
Damn, boy.
Come on. That's my flag there. Come on.
honestly, honestly, is the second
Oh
best
my
tweet
gosh.
since our man said he regretted paying 90 US for you Trinidad and Tobago jersey after we lost out on qualification. Honestly, I can't.
Damn.
I can be
See,
straight. I
hey.
can be straight. It's probably going to be up to me to produce children that are eligible to play for Barbados. Honestly,
Ah,
up to me,
Oh,
man.
nah. Oh, no.
that's
Oh,
insane.
no.
That is insane. That is insane. Wow.
We got look,
Wow.
we got the best rum in the world, but we got the worst football team in the world as well.
No, but sometimes sure that does run neck and neck. Let me be real. They show the true colors sometimes. That and I don't think it's be red, white, and black. Sometimes it's be black and blue because we'd be doing some real crap. But honestly, it was good to see that performance from Trinidad and Tobago. But tough luck to the Bajans. I mean, we have commiserations in that sense. That's an unfortunate scoreline to be on the receiving end of.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So like Phil's asking me and begging me. Moving on, guys, we're gonna have to come to the end of this one. CJ, Phil, Hammond, shout out to Ian as well too. Thanks
Yeah.
again for joining. Thank you to Stephen
No problem. Anytime.
and
Yeah,
guys.
this one is definitely CJ.
That's CJ. That's CJ. I saw CJ
I am
hand.
all I am all
I see CJ hand.
This panel is too mischievous. This panel is too mischievous. Oh my goodness. Shout out again to my sponsors, Locker Room TT. We're supposed to be having giveaways as well too. I will make an announcement before we do our next podcast
Yes.
as regards that, so we can get some stuff going. Because I want to make sure that everybody
Your,
knows that I'm appreciative of their support. I want to make this bigger and better. Shout out to
your
everybody on
boy.
Twitter as well too, who's listening on to. Shout out to my boy from the OGS Effect. From all the way up in Brixton, he's a Man United fan. He's also telling me it's coming home on my Twitter as well too. So he's singing the song, and he's enjoying it. Shout out to my boy Jamie Shields as well too on Twitter, who's looking on, another United supporter. So we've got a few people as well to taking this in and really enjoying the feedback, and I want to make this as enjoyable and meaningful as well to everybody as well. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Thanks again to the panel. And we can't wait to see the next one and see the aftermath of the upcoming games. Guys, this is going to be fun. Everybody enjoy your night. We'll see you then.
All right. Have a good one, everyone.
You too. I take care.